Thank you. Joseph? And then Ellen, and then Amy. Come on down. And after Amy, Carlos Vidal. Carlos? Is Carlos here? Is Carlos here? Carlos? No. Okay, go right ahead.
First, I would like to thank the committee for their time and the opportunity to speak. My name is Joseph DeFosse, and I'm a person in long-term recovery, which means I have not used any mind-altering substances since June 5th of 2018. I'm also a volunteer recovery coach and lead advocate at the Willimantic CCAR. I'm an example of the strengths and weaknesses the systems can have. Jail got me clean, and I found my recovery at a CCAR recovery community center through my community service requirement. That same system and the barriers it creates has made it so I have been unemployed while actively pursuing work for over a year, despite being a 4.0 student in a master's program that checks all the boxes to be employable. As a grad student in IO psychology with a research background, I'm a big fan of numbers and data. I imagine many of you are as well, considering your membership on the Appropriations Committee. Because of this, I'm going to stop talking about me and focus on the numbers that show why DMUS needs to be adequately funded. 1 in 5 adults age 18 or older has a mental illness. 4% of those are severe. 20 million Americans suffer from substance abuse disorder, costing $740 billion to come out of the economy from crime, lost productivity, and health care. 8.6% of working adults are suffering from substance use disorder, costing $74 billion in lost productivity from alcohol use alone. Roughly 50% of individuals with severe mental disorders are also affected by substance abuse. Of the estimated 20 million people age 12 or older that need treatment for substance use disorder, less than 19% of them get treatment. Addiction is considered a highly treatable disease. Recovery is attainable. 10% of all Americans are in recovery. In Connecticut, only 47.7% of adults with a mental illness received treatment from 2011 to 2015, meaning less than half the people that needed services were able to see a provider at all. 4% of the Connecticut population had serious thoughts of suicide in the last year, including 10% of people 18 to 25. 8% of the Connecticut population seeking treatment is unable to receive it, including 16% of the people 18 to 25. 65% of the people in prison have substance use disorder, with 75% of those 65% also having mental health problems. These inmates are provided with $50,000 per year for the cost to keep them in prison. There are 14,000 inmates in Connecticut with over 5,000 DOC employees. They have a budget of almost $900 million. Yet 32% of those inmates, once they're released, return to prison within a year. Frankly, I feel like DMUS would be much better off with that money than the Department of Corrections. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, numbers do not lie, and we clearly need to do better. DMUS is our first line of defense against mental health and addiction in the state, and without proper funding, they can't do the work the state desperately needs. I humbly ask you to take this in consideration when you make your decisions on how to spend the state's money. Thank you.
Thank you. Great speech. Thank you very much. Thank you for your testimony. Ellen Carroll? I'm sorry. Joseph, did you submit testimony?
I did not.
Okay, you could. Okay. Go right ahead.
Hi there. Thank you for your time this